This is our little country heaven. Our names are Rachel and Jose. And we live in our home with our 3 dogs. We love to travel, enjoy life, live and love, play music together. And work hard in East Tennessee, where we're also teachers. We love our home and nature. Join us in this adventure as we love, live, and work in our little country heaven. And welcome to another one of our videos. So today I'm tackling the really big task of putting some wreaths together for our windows. If you'd like to skip right to the part where I'm actually making the wreaths, I'm going to leave a timestamp somewhere near here in the video so you can just skip to that part. If you want to stick around for some tips and ideas, then you can continue watching. So as you may know from previous tours of our home, we have a lot of windows, and this house was made so you could look out at the beauty outside. So basically the show is outside. I take that into account, and I wouldn't want to put wreaths on the window that are too obstructive or too big, because clearly there's so much beauty to look at outside, and I think that's really beautiful. The previous owner of the house, about 10 to 12 years ago, they did a renovation on the house, and they really went all out with the windows, and they made these beautiful picture frame windows that go from floor to ceiling. They're quite beautiful, and so that's one of the things that sold us when we came to see the house and why we decided to buy it. So last Christmas, which you may have seen some of the videos, I put wreaths on most of the windows, and I counted about 30 of them, and I had to make those myself too, because I realized it would otherwise be prohibitively expensive. And so here we are. We're in a bit of a transition. I'm beginning now to redecorate for kind of like late winter, early spring. And I realized that because we have about 3 or 4 more months before the forest is lush and green outside again, that I wanted some sort of details around the windows to kind of carry us over, kind of bring a pop of color, a pop of life in the meantime. So I have materials here for about 10 to 12 wreaths, and so hopefully they come out really nice. I already started this morning, and I've made one of the ones that is going to go in one of the main doors. Obviously the ones in the main doors are a little bigger. I think this is like a 20 or 18-inch one, and something like this at Hobby Lobby, even Walmart, it's upwards of $30, even on sale. So when you have a few of these, it can really add up, which is why I think making affordable wreaths today will give you some ideas with which you can do also the same in your house. So just to give you an idea here, these frames at Walmart were like maybe $3, but these I got at the Dollar Tree. I'm not a big fan of doing everything from the same place. I like to shop around to find the best deals. I always go online first to see what I can expect, and these were $1 at the Dollar Tree, and you can see they already have some wire to attach the different picks and greenery to them, so you're getting some extra value there because you have to use less of your own wire. As far as different, I picked different greenery to make the wreaths, and this is an example. This is a pick of eucalyptus from Walmart, and this one is one of the most expensive ones I bought. It's $2. The others are about 96 cents. But as you can see, this one is very full, and it lets you maybe cut and kind of use them around. Because they're so full, you don't have to use the whole pick. You can kind of pick it apart. So that's really, it comes in handy when you're making lots of wreaths to have something that's a little bit fuller. This is wheatgrass, I believe, and it's another idea to make some of the wreaths. I like how soft these lines are, and because it is just so neutral, that green and that very pale cream color, I feel like this could really just work all year round, just like the eucalyptus. I feel like green is a neutral. It's one of my favorite colors. I just love green, and I love how green the light is in this house when the forest is in full bloom, and that's something you'll get to see in future videos when we start filming for that time of the year. So I'm really excited about getting the forest again, but in the meantime we have to make some beautiful wreaths that will add that pop of color, that pop of life. I also had some more different ones here. This one is hot clover. Also some ideas to make some beautiful wreaths. So I'm gonna now switch to some video of me making the different wreaths, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it inspires you to come up with some affordable ideas also for your home.
When I was choosing the materials to put together this wreath, and these are the ones that are going to go on our front doors, I looked for something that already had wire within, because I knew I wanted to kind of leave the exposed stem on it. And this stem, as you saw in the close-up video, does have a lot of detail, which I thought kind of gives it that woodsy, just the exposed naked branches look, and I thought it would be really pretty and something neutral that could kind of work all year round. These are cherry blossoms. And so I suggest that you also look for something that already has a wire within. That way you'll be able to kind of use it in your favor to kind of mold it in the shape that you want it to. You have to kind of see what direction it's already naturally bending towards, and kind of work with that instead of kind of working against it. So basically working with what you have. I am using this wire from Hobby Lobby, and what I like about this wire that I bought there is that the dispenser itself already has a wire cutter. So if you're like me and you're going super fast and you're trying to do 30 things at the same time, it does help that you can basically cut the wire one-handed as opposed to having to stop to use the wire cutter. So if you are interested in something like that, you might want to check that out at Hobby Lobby. as you can see here, I'm doing my very best to hide the wire, and because this form is made of twigs, you can basically needle through, like weave through the wire itself, so it's not completely visible. That way you can get a really seamless look. So when it came time to decide what kind of bow or like fabric feature I wanted to use for these wreaths, because I will use them on the front doors, I know I wanted something, but I wanted to keep it super neutral. I considered a variety of ribbons, including ones that had like the buffalo print and things like that, which are super country. But the thing is that throughout the year, you just don't know exactly like what cushions I was gonna have on the bench near the door, or what our house flag was gonna look like exactly, the one that's right by the porch. So I wanted to keep it incredibly neutral here, and I couldn't think of anything better than using this kind of fabric mesh and keeping it very neutral colors, like this very woodsy brown and green, which I thought were great possibilities for just about any possible decor I could come up with. So here for the bow, first you gather a section to make your bow, and you can make it as big or as fluffy as you wanted to, and then I cut a separate piece which I folded in half, and then I gathered it together and cut at an angle the way you just saw me doing, to create that really pretty finish ribbon look. I really like that this is pretty. It's colorful, but in a very subdued way, with the browns, the creams, the greens, and I think it looks beautiful with our blue door and the white frame in the window. This is our second porch door, so the second of the main doors, and I did a matching wreath to go with that as well. For the eucalyptus wreaths, like I mentioned in the intro section, I really do like the fact that you can split these in two because they are quite full, which in the end it will help you kind of lower your costs when creating these wreaths. These are the wreath forms I did get at Dollar Tree. I do like that they already have a sort of wire attached that happens to be green. I did find it helpful in some occasions, so if you want to check those out, they should still be in stock because they usually stock up for like spring and summer, so check that out. This definitely does take some time. It took me basically the better part of an entire Saturday to work on these wreaths, so it's definitely an investment of time, but it's obviously a choice you have to make. If you do happen to have lots of windows like we do and you want to do it affordably, then it would be worth your while. Another good tip I can give you is maybe to pre-cut your wires. That way you don't have to stop to use your shears every single time. So that's an idea if you want to save on time. You can use some of the little bits and pieces of the wreath itself to kind of tuck into itself for it to look with the shape that you want it to have. So you're kind of using the pieces of them, kind of tuck them in there so it has the shape that you desire. And this is how it turned out. And this is what they look like in our dining room windows. What you see over there on that side is the shed, our little barn. For the lavender and wheatgrass wreaths, basically the process is very similar. I'm bending the wire to kind of fit together, kind of working it in before I tie it with the floral wire. This is how one of the wreaths turned out, which I placed in the window in our reading nook, which you've seen in posts and previous videos. This is the wheatgrass wreath, and I did bend it ahead of time just so I knew exactly how many little picks I needed, and kind of worked it before putting it on the form itself. And this is what it looks like in our entrance window. So here I have one more wreath related DIY. During the Christmas season, we did have some wreaths on our country gates to our property, and I thought they looked lovely, so I decided to come up with some ornaments for our gates, and I found this affordable way of doing it. I did buy these wreaths because they had to match the frame of the ornament perfectly. The ornaments I got for half off at Hobby Lobby, and they were $10. So I secured those to the frame, which matched the size, and I made 2 of them, and then we proceeded to put them on our gates. One piece of advice if you decide to do this DIY for your gates or your fences, bring back through the ornament itself some of the pieces of the wreath behind. I think this gives it like a vintage look that makes it look like grown in, like it's been there forever. And this is how it came out. I think it looks very darling, and I'm so excited to drive home every day and see these little ornaments on our gates. And with this, we bid you farewell until we see you in next week's video. We hope you have enjoyed seeing me put together some wreaths and that you get some really wonderful ideas. Thank you for watching.